Marches on. Sort of faced Gary Lake in round 3. Like old school stoppers into those, maybe it's old school stoppers. Let's hope you can come down, please. As we report Brian Huxley. Let's focus. VW Sportsman, Eliminations, round number 1 for them. And straight up is Jason Anslow. Going to be taking on Nigel Gregg. Right, green light both sides of the tree, so let them sort it out at the finish line. Looks like Jason's got his nose in front, but here comes the Audi A6. Jason dabs on the brakes, but a little bit too much. 13. Nigel Gregson takes the win. Win margin 0-3 at the stripe. Jake Fronda, Steve Stone, 12:01, place 13:45. Oh, and Jake Fronda goes red, so Steve Stone gets the win. 13:39 breaks out, doesn't matter. He's already got the win light. Thomas Webb, your number 1 qualifier, gets a solo. Dials 12 flat. Goes 12.91, 108. This is the race though. This is Jerry Sadler with the Beetle. 15.35 taking on Linda Thomas. 14.0. Well, green lights both sides of the tree, so again, let's see what happens at the stripe. Oh, it's a close one. The win margin 0.9. It's Linda Thomas that takes it. Hits her, he dial in perfectly there. 15.38, 300s off for Jerry. But Linda Thomas, 14 flat on a 14 flat dial in. Linda into round number 2. Paul Robinson and Olivia Carter, your next pair. 16.64 target for Olivia. Paul wants 14.99. So green light again on both sides of the tree. Well, Olivia out in front, but Paul Robinson closing in. Oh, it's a breakout for Olivia. Goes 16.53. She did have a slight reaction time advantage as well. But it's Paul Robinson that takes it, 15.61. Reese Finney, Kaz Waterhouse. Reese wants 16.10, Kaz 14.90. $16.44 takes the win there for Reese. Kaz goes 15.22, but it is Reese in to round number 2. Jordan Clark, Nigel Gregson, your next pair. Nigel Gregson goes red, so that is a win for Jordan Clark. Goes 14.11 in the process, 13.58 there for Nigel. Next pair, Steve Metcalf with Blue Steel taking on John Crawford. So Steve Metcalf looking for 15.78, John Crawford 15.83, just 0.05 of a second difference between them on the tree. Well done, Terry. 15.82 takes the win on a lose out 16.45. So Steve Metcalf moves on. All right, next up, let them both appear. Tom Circuit. He's written a message on the back window. What's he got? Happy birthday, Eisel. I think that is. Eisel. Dialing in 17.9, and Phil Jones dialing in 16.6, 1.3 second difference on the tree. And it will be the Green Lupo setting off first. Oh, this is looking close, actually. And it is 18.05. Tom Circuit takes the win from a lose out 16.97. So well done to young Tom. Still got 4 pairs to come. And whilst the squeegees are out there, let's give a mention to the VWDRC sponsors for the 2024 season. The headline sponsors are, of course, Darkside Developments, DH Automotive, RTMG Performance, CG Motorsport Performance Clutches, RTEC Performance, Hangar 30, and Pro Race Engineering. And we'll get the associate club sponsors out in a little bit, but many thanks to the headline sponsors. Next up it is Danny Bean and Poppy Hunter 1360 plays 1480. The Lupo and the Audi. One of them will be racing Linda in the next round. And it's Poppy Hunter that goes through with a 1516. Lose out 1397. So Poppy will be taking the Audi into round number 2. Laurie Anslow and George Miller, your next pair. The winner of this will get a bye into round 3. 1395 for Laurie. She's got to be a tiny bit patient, as leaving first to be George Miller with the TT 1430. It's only 0.35 of a second difference on the tree. Oh, and Laurie goes red. So it is George Miller gets the automatic win. Okay, your next pair, and this is fingers crossed and just hope that the clutch holds out. It really is. Lorraine Large with Flossie, 18 flat. That's not the dialing that she would normally want, but she's, well, that's fair to say the clutch is going to be replaced after this meeting. It's just how long it lasts. Going alongside Polly Judge, dialing in 1611 with the Audi. And just to show how much Lorraine is on the edge here, she skipped Q4 just so that she had a car for eliminations. Rest assured, whatever happens, they'll be back for Bug Jam. Well, the clutch has got her off the line, okay. I think it might be fading a bit now, though. Oh, Lorraine Large takes that one by 0.3 at the stripe. My goodness me. 1780 for Polly. I look quite that Polly. I don't know what happened with Polly there. I think she's just lifted off too much. But Lorraine Large into round number 2. Okay, so our final pair then in VW Sportsman come to the line. Carl Goldsmith and John Gallant. And I've got to say a big thank you for Jeff and Belinda Bull, actually. Belinda's just been up to collect her perfect ET money and just taken it off Graham and just given it straight to me. Thank you ever so much indeed. It's obviously not going to me personally, but as most of you know, I'm doing Street Weekend next weekend, raising money for the British Drag Racing Hall of Fame Benevolent Fund, and very kindly that money is going straight into that pot. So Belinda and Jeff, thank you very much indeed. All right, so let these two sort it out at the strike. They both go green. 1862 plays 1532. And it's an 1869 that takes the win for Carl Goldsmith. Breakout for John Gallant. He got there first by quite a margin, but went way too quick. So it is Carl Goldsmith that goes into round number 2. Right, we move on to VW Pro. Round 1 eliminations. Jacob Bailey, your number 1 qualifier, gets a solo. Well, no taking it easy for Jacob Bailey. That doesn't exist in his in his repertoire, does it? 990, he's going for it. 1043, 127, and a fair bit of wheel spin off the line, fair to say. But nevertheless, into round number 2. Right, Chris Waterhouse. Should have been... Oh, no, there it is. I was looking for Sam Young. I saw the team out there, just couldn't see Sam. The big difference this time round is Sam has wound the dial in back to 990. They're realising that giving it too much off the line overloads the circuitry and it goes into safe mode. So just take it a little bit more easier this time round. That's got to be a breakout. 879 and 160 miles an hour. I couldn't care less. It was a double breakout. But it is Chris Waterhouse that goes through. It goes to show that the Blackcurrant team have got performance there. It was just getting it down on the line. But yeah, nice, good run there. 879, 160. But it is Chris. 960, 151 into round number 2. Abby Tether and Paul Walklake, your next pair. 1280 plays 1121. $12.98 for Abby Tether, takes the win to a loser. $12.02 for Paul. So Abby actually gets a bye in round 2 to the semi-finals. The Don. 1240 dial-in. James, 1099. Well, bizarrely, I didn't see Luke move, but he must have done. $11.26, and Luke goes 18.57. Right, Hazel Carter looks like she's got a solo here. Problems for Guy. Oh yeah, a little bit of fluid escaped out the front of Guy's car. Oh, Hazel Carter, 0001 off the line. It's a shame the money's already gone. But perfect light. 1250 breakout, but yeah, she'll be extremely happy with the perfect light there. Shame, as I say, the money's already gone, but the timing ticket will always be there for you, Hazel. Well done. Rob Carter and Phil Blogg. .70, Rob Carter. Sticking with that from what he ran in qualifying. And Phil Blogg dialing in 12 flat. Chris Waterhouse is the opponent in round 2, for whichever one of these two gets through. that's a tight one at the stripe, and it is a double breakout, but it is Rob Carter that takes it. 766 to a breakout of 1188. As I say, double breakout, but Rob Carter goes through. All right, your last pair. James Gould with the Team Militia VR6 Altered, taking on Jake Fronda with the Golf. Winner of this gets Jacob Bailey in round number 2. $9.89, James Gould takes the win there. That'll go down as a whole shot win, actually. 12.07 for Jake Fronda. But it is James Gould into round number 2. So move on to VW Sportsman. Reese Finney, Jordan Clark. So Jordan with the Thunderbug, 14.10. He's going to have to be waiting 2 seconds as Reese Finney dials 16.10. He'll be going first. And the win light goes, well, it's a double breakout actually, but by the lesser amount. Jordan Clark takes that one, 14.06 to a 16.04. Right, next up, George Miller. He gets the solo here. Got past Laurie Anslow in round number 1, which gave him the predetermined bye here in round number 2. Dials in 14.30. Gets a 14.50. Steve Stone and Nigel Gregg, your next pair. 15.38, the 9 in for the Turpits. And 13.35 for the Seat Leon. All right, green light for Nigel. Green light for Steve, so let these two sort it out at the stripe. And the win goes to Nigel Gregg with the Turpits. 15.44 on a 15.38 dial-in. Win margin 0.2. In actual fact, Nigel with an 0.3 light really knocked him on his way there. Very nicely done indeed. Right, next pair, Tom Circuit and Poppy Hunter. Tom looking for 17.90, Poppy 14.80. Whoever wins this gets a bye in the next round. Tom on the brakes there, takes the win, 18.01 to lose out 14.96. As you look at the blue steel Baja Bug of Steve Metcalf taking on Paul Robinson. And the win light goes to Paul Robinson, 1562 on the 1560. Steve Metcalf goes 1597 on the 1578. Again, goes through. Right, Linda Thomas with the Audi TT. 14 flat, going to be taken on Lorraine Large with Flossie. It's hanging together. Dials at 20 seconds. There's no clutch left in the car now. It's running on hopes and prayers, isn't it? There's nothing left of it. I think it's game over for Flossie here. Unfortunately, but Linda Thomas goes 14.06. Wow, 21.91 there for Lorraine, but it is Linda Thomas that does take the win, and Flossie can now get a new clutch. Well done, very well done indeed. Carl Goldsmith taking off the #1 qualifier, Thomas Webb. So Carl, 1864. And Thomas looking for 12.1. And it is Thomas that takes that one, 12.11 to a loser, 1874. Right, we move on to VW Pro. You've got the militia altered of James down there, taking on Jacob Bailey with the Jetta. This to go into the semis. 10.01 dial in for Jacob, 9.80 for James. Jacob goes red. So it's going to be James Gould into round number 2. Jacob goes 10.15. James goes 10.30, but it is James Gould into the semis. Hazel Carter and James Hodson, your next pair. Hazel messaged me to say thanks so much for the birthday shout-outs. Listening to Nitro FM in the car, so obviously not going to say anything about reaction times or anything. I don't anyway, but she'd hear what's going on. So James Hodson taking on Hazel Carter. And a breakout for Hazel goes 12.49 with a 3 on a 12.50. James Hodson takes the win though. He is through. All right, Chris Waterhouse taking on Rob Carter. So are we going to see the Bad Habit Audi S3, or is it going to be Percy the Passat into the semis? Rob's adjusted the dial in accordingly to 7.60. Chris with 9.60, 2 seconds difference on the tree. Well, unfortunately, game over for Rob Carter. Goes red. 784 lose that, but oh, look at that. Chris Waterhouse, 960 on the dial in, 960 with a 4 on the run. So Chris into the semis. Abby Tether on a solo here, predetermined by. So the semi-finals of VW Pro are going to be James Gould taking on James Hodson, and Abby Tether going to be taking on Chris Waterhouse. Well, George has to go to stage. There we go. Right, so Paul Robinson goes first, gets a green. Oh, and George Miller gets a red. So Paul Robinson. So Paul Robinson goes through then. It's a 1489 on a 1560 dial. Wow. Right, number one qualifier then. Thomas Webb taking on Nigel Gregg with the Turpits. Right, now coming forward. Right, Nigel goes straight into stage, so Thomas Webb goes red, so it is going to be Nigel Gregg that goes through. And could I please have 760 heads up into the lanes, please? 760 heads up. Let's have you into the pairing lanes, please. Yeah! Right, Tom Circuit gets a predetermined buy here. Tom dialing in 1790 for his solo. $17.84 breakout, doesn't matter, he is safely through. Right, last pair then, Jordan Clark and Linda Thomas. Oh, they both dial 14s. Who's going to get there first? Well, Linda got there first, but she broke out. So 14-16, Jordan Clark takes the win and sets up a semi-final matchup with Paul Robinson. And it'll be Tom Circuit taking on Nigel Gregson. This is VW Pro. Abby Tether and Chris Waterhouse. Well, first of all, they need to get green lights, which they have. And this for a spot in the finals between Abby and Chris. And it is Chris Waterhouse that takes it, 966 to a 1290. Chris is into the final. But which James is it going to be? Is it going to be James Hodson with the VW Golf dialing in 1110? Or is it going to be James Gould with the Militia VR6 powered Alta 1010, the dial in for him? Right, green light drag race. Closing up nicely at the top end, but it's 11:41 for James Hodson that takes the win. 10:61 for James Gould. So that's the final set for VW Pro. Right, VW Sportsman. Again, this to set the final. Nigel Greg with the Turpits. Tom Circuit with the Lupo. Dial-ins, 1782 for Tom. He'll be going first. 1538 for Nigel. He's the one doing the chasing. Oh, and Nigel Gregg was rolling and he broke the beams too early. So it's Tom Circuit into the final. Happy days indeed. Oh, and Nigel Gregg, perfect ET. When I mean perfect, absolutely perfect. 1538.00. But he went red. Oh, what a shame. He'd be kicking himself when he sees that. But it's Tom Circuit that goes through. Who's he going to be racing, though? Is he going to be Jordan Clark with the Thunderbug or Paul Robinson with the Audi TT? Paul going first. 1560 dial. There he goes. Jordan chasing. 14 flat. And it's Paul Robinson that takes that 1576 to lose that 1462. Identical reaction times, 0.24 for both of them. To come round the corner. So this is where we determine who's going to be taking all the points away from the event and, of course, the all-important Winners' Trophy. Don't forget to hang around after racing if you want to see our winners and runners-up receive their awards. That will take place on the start line as soon after eliminations is finished as possible, with a maximum 30 minutes later. So, your finalists in VW Sportsman, Paul Robinson and Tom Circuit. Well, Paul Robinson has been here a few times before. He's taken championships But I believe this is Tom Circuit's first final, so wishing them both the best of luck here. The Darlings, the all-important Darlings, 1782 for Tom Circuit, 1560 for Paul Robinson. Here we go. Well, Tom Circuit out in front, but Paul Robinson starts closing in. I don't think he's going to do it. I think it could be Tom Circuit here. It is. It's Tom Circuit that takes his win. 1785 on an 82. Congratulations to Tom Circuit. His first win in VW Sportsman. Your first time winner, Tom Circuit!
Do it now.
Once again, James Thompson! So Chris Waterhouse coming up, James Thompson takes the win.